How do I know when I'm ready to date?
How do I have healthy communication?
How do I avoid bad relationships?
What are emotional boundaries?
How do I deal with tough siblings?
How do I prioritize God with my busy schedule?
What up, NineTen? How we doing? Good? Doing all right? I know the darkness kind of makes it feel a little bit more sleepy. Well, hey, if this is your first weekend here, you haven't been here in a little bit, we started, seems a little hot. We started a relationship series on Wednesday, and we're talking about a topic on Wednesday where we're diving into relationships. We're talking about God. We're talking about dating. We're talking about marriage. We're talking about all these different things. And so this past week, we talked about friendships, but we wanted to leave the weekends for you. That's right, you. We wanted to leave for you guys to ask questions about, hey, in my life, or hey, I've seen, or hey, what if, that you get to ask these questions, and then we get to have a conversation with people who I love. We'll introduce them in a second, who I love, and I love how they do relationships. I love how they treat people. I love how they interact with people. I love to see them do relationships because they do relationships well. So here's what we're going to do. Some of you, you've already asked questions. Second is if you want to ask more questions, this is a real number now, okay? Deacon, that's real, okay? Fuel910@gmail.com. You can text that number, and then you can ask your question. So if you're like, ooh, I like that, or ooh, let me add some context, or ooh, that doesn't really make that much sense, you can text in and say, hey, I don't really get it, or hey, help me understand how you deal with drama, or hey, help me understand when your friend leaves you out, what do you do? So you're going to ask those questions. They're anonymous. So it's not like you're not going to get exposed. People aren't going to be like, oh my gosh, I know who said that. I can't believe Zach would ever bring that up in the middle of everyone. It's not going to happen. So that's what's happening. Relationship series. Ask questions right there. I'll do another reminder. But I have amazing people that I want to introduce. So say your name, who you are, okay, when you graduated, where you graduated from, and then what's your relationship status. So name, what you do, okay, where you went to school, and relationship status. Go.
Okay, hi guys. My name is Cece. I serve in junior high in the 8th grade growth ministry. I love it. I graduated from Vista High School.
Hey-o.
Do I say where I go to college? Or no?
Oh, whoa, you go to college?
Yeah, kind of.
Oh, okay.
I just live in Costa. It's pretty chill.
Hey, that's a college. It counts.
Oh, and I'm single.
Yes.
Woo! Yeah.
My name's Mateo, and I intern at 1112 right across this street on the other side of the lawn. And I also graduated from Vista High School, but I'm 2 years older than CC. Yep, Panther Pride. And
Relationship status.
I'm single.
Nice. Okay.
Yes.
So, a different perspective, right? We listen from a married couple. Now we're listening from people who do life a little bit differently. Maybe are closer in age to you. Maybe are closer in a little bit of what relationships look like for you. So let's dive right into it. That I think is a question that some of you've asked me. So the question is this. What if you feel like your friends don't really like you or they leave you out of what you do? So it's kind of that question of, hey, like I feel like they're always doing something and they leave me out. What would you say to that? What would you say to that person?
When I was your age, I definitely did this like the wrong way because it was really hard. Like FOMO is like very real and you guys deal with this. I deal with this today. I deal with it a little bit differently from like growing up just a little bit more. But something I did wrong when I was your age was I would hop on social media and I would hop on just things to numb out and just forget about these like very real feelings that I'm facing. And something that I've had to learn how to do is how to face them head on in a healthy way, which was bringing God into it, but also making myself a little busy. Like I don't have to just sit at home doing nothing with like feelings of, dang it, I wish I was fill in the blank, or I wish I was invited to that. I feel like I've been able to make myself a little more busy, whether I'm at home doing like an arts and crafts thing, just like doing something, but also inviting God into that moment. And something that I'm still practicing, don't get it perfectly, is getting into my word and praying when I'm feeling these like emotions and like God, help me through this. I need your help because I'm feeling really sad and I'm feeling depressed and these emotions are hitting me really hard and they're real and I don't know how to deal with them and I feel left out. So something that I'm still learning is bringing God into those moments, getting into your Bible daily, because that's a real relationship that will sustain you.
Yeah, that's good. That's super good. I think another thing too that we talked about a little bit is just because like people are hanging out and you see it, there's an easy assumption for you to like jump to, and there's a conclusion of you don't like me, you hate me, I'm not good enough, I did something wrong, I said something wrong, I treated you the wrong way, and you intentionally left me out. We as humans, our brain, we're really good at seeing a picture and not having any context and being like, let me fill in all the information about how they don't like me, how they don't, like that's what our brain is wired to do. So it's called fill in the gap. What we need to learn is how do we fill in the gap with truth? For example, this just happened to me. My best friend, who is like I would call my golfing buddy, he posted a picture of him golfing with another one of our friends. And I literally texted him like, what the heck? Like, what the frick are you doing, dude? Like, come on. And he's like, hey, it was this past Saturday. I know that you work. And I was like, oh, cool. It was just like, oh yeah, of course I work Saturday night. Of course, like you would invite me because I work on Saturday and you know that. And you're a really good friend. And then it was, oh, I filled in the gap because a little bit of my insecurity and it was not that big of a deal. So I think you got to manage that as well. Okay, so kind of same gear, same kind of conversation. But if you're the person who is, let's say, on the in, how do you love the people who are on the outside? So like if you're like, hey, I'm on the in, but there's that person who's on the outside. Maybe they're a little bit different. Maybe they're a little bit awkward. Maybe they're the person who it's not always easy to be friends with, but it's like, I have a heart for them. I want to make sure they feel included. Like, how do you bring that person in, or how have you brought that person in?
I would just say like humbling yourself and like, who am I to like not let this person be my friend? Who am I like not include this person? Yeah, and just I think letting go of pride and like okay, maybe this person isn't cool enough for me or like funny enough or fun enough, but like we are the same person in God's eyes. So like letting them in and being friends with them and like encouraging your friends as well to feel the same way about this person. Because I think a lot of times if you are maybe that person in your friend group that's like cool, like the in person, you have so much influence of the people around you, and I don't think a lot of people realize that sometimes. But if you let this one person in and you're encouraging about it, all these people who look at you and think you're so cool, they as well will follow you, and then like this person's included. Yeah,
that's good.
That's what I'll say.
That's super good. Did you want to add to that? Your wheels are spinning.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, go ahead.
For me personally, like you guys can't reach everybody who you come across with, and so like there are going to be people who like you come across with who you're not going to talk to, you're not going to include into your circle. But I will say how I reach out to these people is based on my conviction. So like a lot of people.
What does that mean, conviction?
So a lot of like for myself, I can look at somebody and I'll like judge them immediately. Like that's something I need to work on. But through that, God has been working through me in like softening my heart and like, no, you just judged them. Go reach out to them now.
Yeah.
Because you just had that immediate thought about the way they look, the way they've interacted with other people. They're different than you. And so the conviction is God softening my heart and actually reaching out to me in that way in order to reach out to that other person, whoever they are. Yeah. And so that's a way that I've been able to reach out to some people, not everybody, because I can't reach out to every different person because I have a busy schedule, but that's the way that God has softened my heart in order to reach these other people.
Yeah. I love what you said is like, you didn't shy away from the idea that you judge people, because the reality is like we all judge people. That's just like the nature, that's our flesh. But I love that you're like, I'm going to retrain my heart. I'm going to retrain my brain to see that person and invite God to work in and through my judgment of like, okay, maybe it's something that I'm actually need to work on. I love that. Like, I love that how you're like, no, Holy Spirit, like, no, God, like, help me see this person differently, and then challenge yourself to bring them in. I love that. Okay, but speaking a little bit to the idea that you guys kind of alluded to, but what do you do? What do you do when you're constantly judging people. Like, what do you do, like, when you feel like people in your life, like, you're trying to have the accountability, but it feels a little bit like there's an awkward tension of, like, I don't want to just tell you you're wrong all the time, but the way that you're acting, the way you're behaving is cringe.
I think there's been times where, like, there are people in my life and I'm holding something against them. They did something to me and I'm like, won't let go of it. And through that, it's like, I'm going to judge you. Internally, I'm going to be mean to you. Or maybe externally, probably. But something for me that, like, worked so well and I didn't think it was going to work well is, like, praying for the Lord to convict me. Like, Lord, I do not want to think of this person this way. I don't want to talk about them this way. I don't want to think about them this way. And, like, praying for conviction, just praying for the Lord to, like, soften my heart. And I think it sounds like, will that even work? Like, that's kind of, I don't know. But it was so cool praying that and then, like, actively watching my perception about this person change and, like, my heart toward this person just through praying for conviction and praying for, like, the Lord soften my heart about this person.
Have you seen, like, when you're asking for that prayer, like, have you seen, like, the things that are annoying about that person actually come up and you're like, oh shoot, like, they talk too much, or they always talk about themselves, or they never ask me how I'm doing? Like, do you find yourself like, oh my gosh, I'm more aware of it, but then it's your choice to, like, respond in a different way?
Yeah, definitely more aware of it and just, like, not even to respond, but just, like, to not respond at all.
Yeah.
Like, just, like, sometimes, like, I think responding could have a negative effect on it and just, like, having the self-control, like, I'm just not going to say anything and walk away. And, like, the thoughts in my head are going to, like, they're silenced.
So part of judgment in what you're saying is, like, sometimes it's best not to say anything.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes it's like, just let it ride. Like, it just takes a little bit of extra grace to deal with them or have that conversation and, like, doesn't need to be said. Is that kind of what I'm hearing?
Yes, I'd say extra grace.
Extra grace.
Maybe extra grace. That's what I think the Lord provides in those moments.
Yeah.
Of, like, I'm going to look at you through the lens of the Father and not through my personal, like, insecurities.
Okay, that's awesome. I like that. Okay, guys deal with drama way differently. Like, how do you deal with, like, accountability and judgment within friendships?
So in my friendships and in my the best friends that I surround myself with, there is accountability, which is judgment, because you are perceiving somebody's actions and then making a judgment on that. And so I ask for accountability in my friendships and in my best friends, at the core, I have things that I come to them with that I'm like, okay, rebuke, correct, and inform me of the things that I'm doing in these bad habits in order to change. And so there is judgment in friendships, but at the same time, when I've gone into these tough conversations of correcting and bringing something to light, I've gone into these conversations of, I don't think I'm better than you because I don't struggle with this problem, because everybody struggles with something and we all fall short of the glory of God. But I'm not better than you because I don't struggle with this specific thing, and I'm not self-righteously going into this conversation, but I'm pointing this out because I love and I care for you. And, like, this will make you a better Christ follower. This will make you a better man. And so, like, there is correction and rebuking, and that is coming from a place of judgment and looking at somebody's actions and noticing a bad habit.
Yeah. One of the most misquoted, like, Bible verses, like, right now, especially in a day and age where everyone's, like, trying to get Christians to seem as hypocritical or they're judgmental, is the verse. It's Matthew chapter 7, verse 1. It says, "Do not judge, or you will be judged. For in the same way you judge others, you will be judged. And with the measure you use, it would also be measured to you." So, for example, what he's saying is this, okay? Hey, if I'm judging Mateo because he cusses all the time, and I'm like, dude, Mateo, knock it off. Stop cussing. Why are you saying that? Don't talk that way. What he's saying is this. He says, hey, don't judge if you talk the same way. Like, if you have the same mouth and you use it in the same way, but because you want to look better or you want to seem more superior or more spiritual, then he's like, just make sure that the measurement that you use, how critical you are and how above you think you are, like that's going to be the same tool that God measures you with. It's not saying don't judge. It's saying be careful how you judge. Does that make sense? And here's also what you need to understand. The people that he's talking from Christian to Christian. So if you have a friend that's not a Christian and you're like, dude, watch your mouth, don't say that, you're not called to judge them because they don't have the same standards as you live by as a Christian, as a follower of God. So I just want to like say that is because I think we live in a day and age with like, yo, you can't judge me, you can't judge my actions. Like only God knows my heart. And it's like, well, I don't know your heart, but by your actions, like there's some evidence that right now your heart is wrestling with God. Like I would say that. I wouldn't treat that way. I wouldn't hold on to that bitterness. Like I wouldn't, whatever it is. So fill in the blank. Did you want to read something?
No, I was just reading it when you.
Oh, okay. Sorry, my bad. How do you, this is a question, by the way, some of you are asking really good questions. Again, fuel910gmail.com. I love this one. How do you know when a relationship/friendship isn't right for you, even if you think it's going well? Ooh, that's good. That's really good. So even if it feels like it's going good, how do you know that it isn't right for you?
Is this like a relationship or more
This is
like
relationship/friendship.
I think when you are in the friendship, it can be really hard to, like, you kind of get like tunnel vision. And like you think it's going well. And it's really important that you have like outer counsel and like people speaking into your life. And you're kind of like, have you heard like living in a glass box but dating? Like,
No,
okay.
I haven't.
Like nothing is secretive. Like you're living in a glass box. Like people can see in your life. You have like leaders who know what's going on. You have older friends who know what's going on. You have people who at church who know what's going on. Like nothing in your life is a secret. So when a friendship is like getting unhealthy, maybe you have a leader or like your small group and they're like, wait, this, like I'm seeing this come up in your life. I think it's a representation of this person. And so you have people who are speaking into you and
Yeah. Okay. I like that. Did you want to speak to it? No, not at all. Okay. Going off this idea, how do you know when a friendship is like, you need to like separate it, like you need to like create distance, but in a loving way? Like, hey, this isn't good for me. I recognize this isn't good for me, but like no longer should I be in this friendship or in this. Yeah.
So I've had to do this recently with some buddies, but just because you don't like somebody doesn't mean you like shouldn't be their friend. But the reason I went through the process of really just stop pursuing this person and reaching out to the other guy. It wasn't like I like went to him and I was like, hey, I like don't want to be friends with you anymore. It was just like I acknowledged and through conversations with other friends of like, hey, these habits are really annoying me. Do you think we should have a conversation? Oh, like, no, you don't think it would go well? Okay, like, I think I'm just gonna veer back a little bit and not talk to them a little bit more. And so now we don't talk at all. But it came from habits of like feeling very drained after conversations, just mentally and honestly, spiritually sometimes, of just like, driving home, just being like, dang, like, what happened? And why do I feel this way? And like recording my habits of like, am I constantly leaving these friendships and these conversations like drained and feeling like, why did I hang out with them? Why did I talk about that with them? Why did I let them talk about that? And so like these internal moments of driving home and just like praying about it was like, the reason like, okay, like I need to like veer back a little bit.
Yeah.
And ended up like, we don't talk anymore, but there's no bad feelings because I wasn't like, I need to let them know they're doing something wrong. Like, no, I'm going to pray about them and I'm going to pray that God changes them in a little bit different way, but I can't be that one to change them right now because it's affecting me too much.
I think, I know this is crazy, okay? And this is ludicrous, and probably like 5% of you are only going to take this advice. But if your parents don't like who you are when you hang out with the individual, maybe it's time for you not to hang out with them. Like, I think there's like a huge value of like your parents, who they see you and how they see you when you're with this individual. That's a great time for you to be like, oh, maybe that's a relationship that's not worth pursuing. And I think like your parents, they are wiser, and I think a lot of parents are wiser than you think. And I think that's a great indication of like, where are you in that relationship, and like, where are you in a relationship that's healthy or unhealthy for you? So, all right, this question has been asked a lot. Okay. What do you do with a friend that turns into a completely different person with the different crowds they go to? So with this crowd, they're not so bubbly. They're not so shy. And then when they're in this crowd, it's all about them, and it's all about how great they are, and it's all about this, and just they're kind of a chameleon.
I would say ask questions before you speak into their life. Like maybe there is a deeper reason to why they do this, or there's past hurt, or a lot of times it's insecurity. So I think like being curious, like, hey, like, why are you so different in this group, but then you're like this in this group? Like, what's going on? That makes it difficult for maybe me to be friends with you. I don't know what to expect. Yeah.
Wait, that's good. That's good. I don't know what to expect. Like, what do you mean by that?
I think in life we seek, I think stability is something
Yeah.
we all enjoy, right? No one likes when your life is like, I have no idea what's happening tomorrow. So I think having a friend, which I've experienced this, it's like, okay, sometimes you're super fun, super cool, and I love being with you, and then it's like, whoa, why are you attacking me verbally? Why are you like super rude? Why are you being mean to this person? Like, these are two completely different people. I think as a friend to that, it's so hard on you, because it's like, I'm always walking on eggshells around you. I'm super tense. How do I deal with this? Yeah. I'm still figuring out how to do that in my life right now. I have friends where I don't know what side I'm going to get of them, and it's hard because I love this person.
Yeah.
And I really want to be friends with the person, and I want to be close to them. But for my own sanity and heart, I have to set up boundaries of like, I'm not going to see you multiple times a week. You're not going to know the deepest, darkest parts of my life, because like I need to have a little bit of distance from you so I don't get hurt.
Okay, let me ask you this, hypothetical speaking.
Okay.
Let's say you hang out with this person, they're great, they're awesome, you like them in this friend group. Would you ever not hang out with a certain group because you know that they're going to change? Like, you know they're going to be different. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Would you do that?
So you're saying like I have a friend, two groups.
Let's say I hang out with all the 11, 12 leaders, and you're like, Hayden, he's great when he hangs out the 11, 12 leaders. But then I go hang out the 9-10 leaders, and you're like, Hayden's the worst. He always thinks he's so cool. He's so funny, but he's a jerk.
Yeah.
He's super insensitive. Would you be like, I'm not going to hang out with them? I'm not going to hang out with Hayden when he's with the 9-10 leaders? Would you do that? Or is that too mean?
I think, again, it's boundaries. Like, if I'm like your best friend, and we hang out with 9-10, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like Hayden sucks right now. Okay, I don't want to hang out with you, but if I'm like, yeah, I'm good friends with Hayden, but like I can walk away and like hang out with all these other people because we have boundaries, and I have like a little bit guarded my heart too, and I was like, I think I can do that.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
I like it. I just like it. Just trying to put like a little bit more context to it.
Totally, I like it.
Yeah, because I think like one of the ideas that like maybe we struggle with them is like, we hang out with certain people, whether we want to admit it or not, like if it benefits us or not. Like, does this person give me something that I need? Does this person give me something that I want? Mm-hmm. And I think sometimes it's easy for us to suss that out. It's easy for us to see that. It's like, oh, I know why you like hanging out with them, because they always laugh at your jokes. Oh, I know why you always like hanging out with them. It's because they make you feel good, because like you're way cooler than I know how cool you are. You know? And so I think that's like a hard thing. But like to maybe like challenge it a little bit is like, how much of that is jealousy in your own heart? Like how much of that is just like your heart looks at that person a little bit differently, is because maybe they're getting things that you would desire to. Maybe they're getting things that maybe you would benefit as well. And so I think that's something that you need to wrestle with as well. So, okay, kind of this is like off brand a little bit, but it was in this question. What's your feelings on like close relationships that's a guy and a girl, like they're besties?
That's off the back. In high school, when I was your guys' age, I definitely had girls in my life who I would say like, oh yeah, those are my best, like she's one of my best friends. Looking back at it, she was not one of my best friends because like really there's just a level of accountability, correction, and vulnerability that you should have, and you should have distance from the opposite sex in terms of the amount of stuff you're sharing if they're just a friendly relationship. Like that's more than friendly if you're like overly sharing a lot of things with the opposite sex. And so that was like something that I could look into my life when I was your guys' age and be like, I would say that's an inappropriate thing for me to have, but it was also really hard for me to correct in that moment because I didn't think it was a problem. And I didn't think that it was that bad or that it needed to be fixed at all because like we're just close. We kind of grew up together, and we're like in similar friend groups. But now, at the stage of life that I'm in, I don't need girl friends. Like speak.
You need like a girlfriend, but not girlfriends.
See, maybe that's why I'm single. No. But I have guys who speak into my life and who correct me and who I very much enjoy hanging out with, where I can hang out with them one-on-one. I'm not going to hang out with a girlfriend who's just a friend one-on-one or be sharing a lot of things because that would be inappropriate and oversharing.
Yeah.
And it's not what you need.
Yeah. It's not like a sin. That's not what we're saying. We're just saying as advice, like if you have a friend that's a girl and you're a boy, that's not a sin. That's not what we're saying. But I think you're setting yourself up for a little bit of like danger, or you're pushing into a territory that maybe not as beneficial for both of you.
Yeah. Also, like this specific instance, we were just friends and we ended up liking each other like by the end of it. And so it's like it's this personal application. Like it isn't just friendly. It like turns into something more because you start to hang out more. And it becomes a relationship and like a situationship where like we're just friends. We're not going to label anything because we're best friends. But like for me, it turned into that relationship where now it's weird to say, and it's like then we just like stop talking because it's just like, well, we don't know how to do this. Like. Yeah, we're done.
Like normally there's one person who develops feelings and there's one person who has an alternative motive. Is that what you're saying?
In this instance, we both developed feelings. But I realized that no, this isn't actually someone I want to have a relationship with. We were just friends. And then like this was a while ago. So it's nobody you guys know. But it was
so that you could say her name?
No.
I'm just kidding.
Oh my god.
No, but it was just like it turned into something that I wasn't necessarily looking for.
Yeah.
Neither of us were looking for, and then it turned into something that wasn't appropriate for that relationship.
Yeah, totally. Here's one thing, okay? Because this even happens in our friendship. If you have a friend that is dating, okay, or sorry, if you're dating someone and they have a friend, don't go to the friend of the person you're dating for advice. Because here's what's happening is you may develop a friendship with the friend that you're dating with, but what happens is it's only pitting the two friends against one another. Like if you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know how to talk to her. Like, oh my gosh, she's being dramatic right now. What's going on? That question is reserved for you to talk to the person you're dating. Like, don't go to their friend because here's what happens is it only pits them against one another when it's like, hey, your boyfriend told me that you're acting a little crazy right now. What's going on? It's like, what do you mean I'm acting crazy? You know, it's like that is only going to burn a bridge between someone that you're dating and like one of their closest friendships. That is not something that you should be pursuing, like in the sense of like you seek guidance, counsel. If you're asking for help of like, hey, I want to surprise them for Valentine's Day with their favorite roses. It's like, what color do they like? I don't know. It's like, they like pink. It's like, cool, thanks. But like a relationship advice of how to love this person, like I would say like reserve that for your friends or reserve that for asking the question to that specific individual. So I don't know. That's my 2 cents. I just hadn't dealt with that. So, okay. Shifting gears. Maybe last question. Maybe, I don't know. What time do you have to leave? Like right now?
No.
Oh, okay. Okay. What does it look like for you to bring what does it look like for you to love non-Christians that are your friends?
I think for me, this has been difficult.
Yeah.
I think it can be very difficult. I think it's not something to take lightly. I also preface your closest circle of friends should be believers, should be people who love the Lord, who are encouraging you to follow Christ, who are upholding you, keeping accountable, right? But the Lord also calls us to be disciples and bring more people to Him. So I think it's important to have friends in your life who maybe aren't believers and you're speaking into them. Although my mom has drilled this into me my entire life, bad company corrupts good morals. If you're constantly around people who aren't Christian, don't love the Lord, whatever, they will have impact on you, they will influence you. So yes, that's what I have to say.
It's good Bible.
Yeah, we were talking about this, but a lot of times you think you're going to be the one who brings this maybe friend group or friend to Christ, but a lot of times it's the opposite.
Yeah.
Where they're actually pulling you away from going to church. And so you have to be aware of that, and you need to have some of those people in your life where who can correct you, hey, I see you're doing these habits, I know you don't want to do this, because we've had conversations. But how I do friendships with non-Christians, I have a lot of friends who are non-Christians, and that's not a bad thing because people need to be evangelized to. And you guys are on the front lines of ministry in your high schools, and you are God's plan A in high school.
What does that mean? Plan A and you're in charge of growing the kingdom of God?
Yes. So there is no other option for other people to come to Christ other than the Holy Spirit working through you. The Holy Spirit's not working through any other thing. He's working through us humans. And that's basically just the people in your high school are the non-Christians, and that's how you're reaching them.
Yeah.
And you are doing this non-verbally through your actions, and kind of how we've been talking about our actions speak louder oftentimes than our words. And I had a conversation with somebody last night, and somebody who was a non-Christian reached out to the Christians, why was that interaction different? Why did I see your friend group being different? I haven't been around Christians like that.
Yeah.
And so you non-verbally spreading the gospel opens up an opportunity for you to now verbally tell them the goodness of Christ and how He's worked in your life.
Yeah.
And that speaks way bigger volumes than you going up to a person and just being hey, have you heard of Jesus?
Yeah.
And that's good too, but your life should reflect it.
Yeah. That's awesome. Okay, rapid fire.
Okay.
25 seconds or less. I know it's going to be hard. How do you open up to a friend about something you're dealing with? Struggling with? You're kind of living in fear.
For me, in high school, it was hard to open up about pornography because most guys struggle with this. And I just had to be somebody who just was very open and honest about it. Hey, this is what I'm struggling with, and I want accountability. And it wasn't just to the people around me because they're also struggling with something very similar, but it was to mentors who can speak into my life who have conquered this.
Yeah.
And so it's the people around me to keep me accountable, but a lot of times those best friends probably are dealing with very similar things. And so it's people much more wise and who have gone through very similar struggles who I can ask also for accountability from and advice and wisdom in order how to change.
Yeah.
This is male and female though. That's not.
Yeah. No, that's good. If you're a girl struggling with something, how would you open up to another friend? If you're fearful of it.
Yeah. I think first, mentorship is huge. They are so much wiser than you are at this age. And also trust. if this is a friend you trust and you love and like is pushing you to Christ, trust that this friend is gonna like be there for you and be there in a judgment-free zone of like, I hear you and I'm sorry and I love you and like I want to be there for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could I talk on mentorship?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I was thinking about this on the way here, but mentorship for me hasn't always been like a very like I have it scheduled into my like weekly basis, because a lot of times that's really hard to fit a mentor into your life when somebody has a really busy schedule. Your mentor, they're working, they're doing a lot serving at this church. And then also you have school and you have sports and you have all these extracurriculars. So the best way I've incorporated mentorship into my life is texting the person I want to be my mentor about maybe like a problem or something and be like, hey, I want to like, can we talk about this on the phone?
Yeah.
Because it's so much more accessible to talk to them over the phone if you can't get together one-on-one because of your guys' busy life. So that was just a tidbit that's helped me recently, like talking to my mentors who I care about.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. That's super good. And the reason why we're talking about these conversations is because I know I've said this and I know you've heard of this, but it's like, if you're not good with people, it's hard to get good with God. Like, that's why friendships are so important, is because God cares so much about relationships. God cares so much about the people who are next to you. God cares so much about the people who are in your life group, who are in your household. And so I think the better that we can learn to do relationships, honestly, the better we'll learn how to do a relationship with God. And so that's why we're talking about this. And so if you're like, hey, that was great, that was awesome, my questions, they get answered. A lot of you ask questions. The second service, we're going to be asking similar questions, but we might asking your questions as well. So if you're like, I would love to come back, glean more, ask more questions, then we'd love to have you. But here's what's going on right now, okay? One is we're going to have fuels over here. Come hang out, get a fuel. But the second thing is this, okay? Starting to serve our junior high ministry, they're raising support this weekend. So they're in the, like near the edge in live. So if you want to go support them, if you want to go encourage them, some of you, you've done this event for, give them a thumbs up, give them a, hey, you're doing a great job, because it's nerve-wracking, it's overwhelming. They're in 7th, they're in 8th grade. Talking to strangers, that's pretty hard. It's pretty difficult. So after you grab a fuel, go encourage them. Go say, you're doing a great job. Can we give a round of applause also for Cece, for Mateo, sharing their wisdom? So, God, we just thank you so much just for who you are. God, we just thank you for the love that you've given us, but God, the love that you've given our friends on how they love us. God, may we just continue to be grateful and thankful for the people that you've entrusted us with, that you've blessed us with, so that we can do life with. God, may you continue to help us realize they're there for a reason. God, may we not waste the friendships that we have now, but may we use them so that we can be closer to you, that we can grow closer to you, and so that we can continue to push one another towards you, Jesus. May we pray for the relationships that our friends that don't know Jesus. Will you give us the courage? Will you give us the wisdom? Will you give us a way for us to connect with them so that they can ultimately come to know you, God? We love you. Pray all these things in your name. Amen.